Into the ACC.
Shambles.
In shambles. What's going on with the ACC? We say this every single week. We don't know what to expect, and honestly, it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
We've talked about other conferences being really boring. The ACC is exciting because I have no idea who's going to win from night to night.
Every time the ACC is on, you got to tune in because you don't know what's going to happen.
It's so unpredictable, and it's so exciting. This week we had NC State headed in the wrong direction for sure. They were ranked as high as 6 earlier this season, but now they're down into the double digits and only sinking lower.
Yeah, they're looking at late teens, early 20s.
Yeah.
Next ranking maybe.
I think they got a lot of favor because of last year's Final Four run. That was genuinely a very good team. They were a 1 seed. But they have 4 bad losses, and their only ranked win is against Iowa, who let them score 1 million points, obviously, because that's what Iowa does. But they've now lost 3 of their last 5, including 2 to unranked teams.
Yeah.
Last night, they lost to FSU.
I think they just lose to FSU.
They lost to FSU by a lot. I'll talk about the Wolfpack, but I would like to say something about the Noles as well.
All right. Well, I just wanted to throw out there they're just not the same offense as we saw to start the year.
Not at all.
The first 8 games they had 84.5 points per game.
Mm-hmm.
Last 9 they're averaging 70.
That's a tough drop off.
Oh,
That's a steep drop off.
it's a scary thing there. Now we could jump into the Noles real quick.
I would love to have a quick chat about FSU because
Let's hear it.
I think that this is a sneaky, really, really good team out of the ACC. They have 1 loss in each of November, December, and January, and they're good losses too. A 2-point loss to Oklahoma State, which is kind of a weird one. 8-point loss to UConn. Not a ton you can do about that. And then they lost in OT this week to BC, who's another sneaky good team out of the ACC. They're a really good team. They only have those 3 losses, and in a league like the ACC where anybody could win, I think they've been one of the most consistent teams. And I like that a lot. They're able to score a lot, and they're able to defend pretty well too. And they shut down NC State last night. I think the Noles will be ranked next week because you can't ignore the 3-loss record and dominating ACC play.
I mean, it's time for the voters to catch up. But I just want to throw it out there. If you're praising FSU for beating BC and saying FSU is great, I'm just going to play the contrarian here because I also don't like the direction this NC State team is headed. Yeah. But if we're going to praise those 2 teams and then criticize NC State for losing to them, I don't know, man.
I'm willing to play both sides. Can't possibly lose. Praise everybody and criticize everybody. Right now I'm hot on the Noles. I had this jersey in my closet. So, FSU bandwagon this week. I'm rolling with that. Let's continue with the ACC. I mentioned a Notre Dame loss this week. They were looking somewhat unbeatable this season. Hadn't lost in ACC play. This week they go down to number 22 UNC, which I think surprised us both because they were 2 teams heading in completely different directions.
Yeah.
Like Notre Dame was coasting, UNC was sliding, and they took the L to UNC.
I mean, we all know who to blame here.
Yes,
we all
do.
know who to blame.
Hi.
You guys
Producer
can't see it. Kate behind the camera and waving.
Picked the heaviest favorite in the history of our pick segment.
Yeah, Notre Dame was -4, which I thought was generous to UNC.
Yeah.
And there we go. Kate picks them. Not only do the women lose, but the men lose the day before to UNC.
Cursed the whole damn program.
She just anti-Irish over there.
Tough look for producer Kate. Notre Dame, I don't think this is indicative of many bigger problems. I think they might have been just due.
Yeah.
But I don't think down the road Notre Dame is going to be a struggling team. I think they're still probably top dog in the ACC.
I agree.
But a weird loss, for sure. We're going to look back and be confused by that one because, well, is UNC better than we've been giving them credit for? Do you think they're going to be able to turn it around?
I think they have a real shot to right now with their upcoming schedule. They got taking on NC State, who we just said struggling.
Rough.
And then they got the revenge game versus Duke. This Duke team really like started this slide. So a couple rivalry games there.
I'm so excited for these rivalry games. This is like my favorite thing about conference play is you get these good like in-state historic rivalries. They're good. Women's basketball is blessed with a lot of out-of-conference rivalries, but that's really among the top teams, like UConn, South Carolina, UConn, Tennessee. These are teams who are not historically dominant, who are just close to each other and don't really like each other. So I'm excited to see them sweat each other out. Like, we've seen Duke UNC a million times on the men's side. I've said it before. I'm really excited for this women's game.
This is going to be a good game.
This is going to be the premier matchup on Tobacco Road.
I mean, this is exactly what you wanted last week.
Exactly.
We got to see this UNC team turn around so they could get strong heading into these rivalry week.
Rivalry weeks are so good. No matter what your sport is, develop a rival, and it'll be so much more exciting. So another my ACC team that is looking really good lately is Miami. They are looking to be ranked. They had a good week last week, an even better week this week. They're on a tear. They're as hot as could be. Miami, it's hot down there on the beach. A whole cast of characters down there helping out, and it's a very well distributed offense. And they're looking real good. In my opinion, I think every sport is just better when Miami is good. Cool uniforms, fun school, good city, great vibes. I think Miami has incredible vibes right now. We talk about a lot of good vibes teams. We like to bring up the good vibes. Miami, definitely good vibes. And like I said earlier on, I don't love having a championship future on them, but I wanted to pick a long shot, and among the long shots, they're the most fun and maybe the best team with the odds that long.
And you're putting them at plus 20,000 right now, which is crazy.
That's insane. Who's to say they can't make a run?
Yeah.
I like them a lot. I think they will make a run, at least in the regular season. Their only remaining games against teams that are currently ranked are NC State, which we talked about, not looking all that tough of a matchup, and Duke, who's a very good team. But they could end up with a high seed in the conference if they can finish out winning the games that they should.
Yeah, I might be wild for saying this, but I'm kind of I'm looking at the standings right now. I'm kind of liking this unranked Miami team as the third best team in the ACC.
Really? That's bold. I like that, though.
I mean, I'm looking at this, and Virginia Tech, we both not too big of fans. NC State sliding. UNC, maybe they could turn it around.
Who knows?
But I like them in that 4 spot. I'm looking at Notre Dame, Duke, and Miami.
That's a good big three.
I might be weighing the vibes too heavy, but Duke and Miami are
you gotta trust the
splendid vibes.
I think it's those three. Maybe this one. I trust the Florida State a little bit too. But I think there's a good top 4 in the ACC. We talk about Notre Dame being the dominant favorite, but...
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at the conference standings, 3 of the ranked teams, nowhere near the top 5.
Right, they're scattered all over the board, which is weird to see your ranked team so low. Not even in the middle, near the bottom.
Yeah, so we could see a huge shakeup here.
Definitely. Interesting to look at. One more big ACC game this week. We had Louisville and Virginia Tech. Louisville looked really good early, but Virginia Tech, I think, they're built better than Louisville.
Yeah.
It was a foot race, and Virginia Tech won 81-79. Not a ton to say about it.
I mean, it's hard to find women's basketball that you can actually watch without having to pay more.
Exactly.
I was able to tune into this game, and that was a battle, man.
It was tough, and it was good. Louisville fought hard. They covered plus 4.5. Shout out.
Hey.
Haley Van Lith had 29, but...
That's all that really matters, plus 4.5.
Yeah, that's what matters. And it's significant to some. I think they're just, a really, mid team.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to be really good. They're not bad by any stretch, but... They lose to the really good teams. They beat the bad teams.
Just doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah, they win the games they're supposed to win.
Yeah.
I think they could maybe sneak into the tournament as a 10 seed, upsetting a 7 seed, but
yeah,
I don't think they have a ton of potential to make a run.
I mean, when you get to the big time moments, it's the big time players you want, and they got one.
Experience counts. Like, a lot of that roster has been to a Final Four just last year, and they're led by HVL, so we'll see about Louisville. I mean, I'm still liking them and following them. So, the one team we didn't talk about that we probably should is Duke.
Duke.
Holy cow, Duke is so good right now.
They are rolling.
That defense is just, like, unreal.
They're five fingers to the same glove. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that was sure. It sounded good.
Yeah.
So, Duke has lost one game. It was also the only game that they allowed more than 60 points all season long. Do you know who it was against?
Who was it against?
UConn. That's one of the best losses you can have in the entire country. Duke, outside of UConn, has not lost and has not allowed 60 points. That's unreal. That's a crazy run for a team that we did not see coming.
No.
I mean, neither of us had them in a championship draft. I think we would have liked to have known. But Duke would have do something like this.
And they have incredible vibes.
Great vibes.
After Malin's loss, it's like the Toy Story meme with Andy dropping the thing.
Yeah, I don't want to play with you anymore. Bad vibes.
I'm Team Duke all the way, baby.
Duke has different vibes from the other. I think the other teams have kind of like showy, flashy vibes, like high scoring and nice to watch. Duke is kind of gritty. Like, they're going to grind out a win. It's going to end up being like they had a 10-point win against Clemson last night. But they just...
It's a win nonetheless.
66-56. Like, they're not going to let you score, and they're going to take their time on offense.
I listened to this Sixers podcast, and they talk a lot about the Heat. And they call it the Heat and the Raptors, how they play, they call it rat mode.
Rat mode.
I think Duke has a little bit of rat mode.
They got a little rat in them, for sure. This is a rat team, but...
We talk about dogs a lot. They got
that rat in them. Like a real New Yorker, they got the rat. They got a little bit of rat in them. But they're cooking. Ratatouille. Obviously, was where I was going with that.
All right, let's move.
One more thing. Duke unders. I'm loving it. I'm going to keep betting them until I can't. One thing I'll say, we'll talk about a few of these games. Actually, we'll get to it. But Duke under hit by half a point last night. Thrilling.
Yeah,
they're not going to allow
a lineup that's like 100, 110.
Right.
It's like you hit that under.
Until they put it like under 110, hit that under button because defense is way too good. We talked FSU, Miami are on the move. In the long term, the most trustworthy team is probably going to be Duke or Notre Dame. That would be a really fun matchup to see eventually.
Yeah, I agree.